I would have known that. I have to let that.
1%. We're good. I'll give you.
We will start the Assembly Natural Resources Committee as a subcommittee because I do see one author patiently waiting. Mr. Gatto, would you like to present?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair and committee members. First, I want to thank the committee for their amendments, and I am happy to take them on the record. 2788 is what I'm here to present, and this would suspend the APA and allow emergency regulations that were adopted in response to the Aliso Canyon gas leak to remain in effect until January 1, 2019. And this will provide time for the appropriate permanent regulations to be adopted through the administrative process. We all know the gas leak at Aliso Canyon has been called the largest natural disaster since the BP oil spill. We know what it did to the inhabitants of Mr. Wilkes District. And these regulations are very important, and we need them to be extended past the 180-day limit and remain in effect as the various agencies take the time they need to analyze and address the incident. There is no opposition to this bill, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote when you have a committee, or a quorum, rather.
Witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions from the committee?
Mr. God, I just want to let you know I think we're all going to be supporting the bill once we can vote on it. So
terrific.
Actually, let me not speak for the other members of the committee that are here. I'll speak for myself. I will be supporting the bill once it's up for a vote.
I appreciate that. And if you saw a look of shock on my face, it was because you were speaking for Mr. Harper. I'm just kidding.
Any other comments or questions from the committee? We will take the bill up as soon as there is quorum.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, sure. Anything I can do.
You're going to go put one on now just to really get it bad?
I literally did just go put mine on. I just want you to know that. Are you presenting?
Yeah, we should talk first.
They didn't find this. What's he doing?
They worked with people that kind of facilitated it.
It was a complete accident that it was found.
Well, sure, there's that.
They, if anything, they should not want this.
This design stuff.
Why is he?
Okay. Gotcha. Thanks.
Mr. Mathis, will you present? Yeah, please take it.
Williams?
Here.
Williams here. Jones?
Here.
Jones here. Garcia? Gomez? Hadley?
Here.
Hadley here. Harper? Harper here. McCarty?
Here.
McCarty here. Stone? Wood. You have quorum.
Mr. Mathis, would you like to present?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. First off, I'd like to thank the chairman and the committee staff for all your hard work on this. I truly appreciate it. I plan on to continue working with the chair and the administration to address the drought relief, including a limited CEQA exemption for recycled water facilities proposed by the City of Porterville. AB 1749, as amended, is intended to address this, and I will continue to work with the committee to refine the details as the bill moves forward through the process.
Any witnesses in support? Any witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon, Kyle Jones of Sierra Club, California. We don't have a position on this time with the new amendments, and I know you guys, the committee has been working really hard with the assembly member to try to find a solution for East Porterville, and I think that's something that we can all agree needs to happen. I do want to just say that we're not sure that CEQA is an impediment to the solution of East Porterville, but that hopefully we can find a solution for a long-term sustainable water supply for those people who desperately need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the committee?
Move the bill.
There is a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other comments or questions from the committee? Mr. Mathis, would you like to close?
Ask for your support.
I give this an I recommendation. The author was willing to narrowly tailor this to an acute need in his own in his district. I think we've all heard about Porterville and East Porterville, and to make sure the CEQA exemption as tailored as the least possibility of being misused. We appreciate your flexibility as well, and the chair's recommendation is aye. Would you like to call the roll?
The motion is due pass to appropriations. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Jones?
Aye.
Jones, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Gomez? Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Stone, Wood.
6-0, your bill is out.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll move item 3, AB 2788, Gatto.
And that is also due pass to appropriations as amended. Is there a second? A second by McCarty. Please call the roll. Chair's recommendation is aye.
Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Jones?
Aye.
Jones, aye. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Gomez? Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Stone, Wood. 6-0.
6-0. Gatto's bill is out. Mr. McCarty, would you like to present?
Okay.
Please begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I'm presenting to you a measure which would make a slight modification to our existing transit priority project programs under SB 375. I believe, in essence, this bill will will provide us with an opportunity to make infill development a little more easy in the state of California while maintaining the requirements of CEQA and the importance of public input. Certainly want to thank you and your staff for working with us on this bill. And first of all, willing to accept the committee amendments found in the analysis to make the bill a stronger measure. In essence, this measure came from me talking with local infill developers and our local regional planning agency, looking at the landmark 375 by Darrell Steinberg from nearly 10 years ago. And in our analysis, we called the top 10 or so cities in California and asked how many have utilized this Sustainable Communities Environmental Assessment. We found that only a handful of projects have done so. And so we started looking at what are some of the shortcomings of it. First, it was during the recession. Some people may say there wasn't a lot during the recession. Some jurisdictions didn't quite know about it. Some were leery about litigation in the first place. But one thing that we found out is by the narrow definition, some projects may have been slightly outside the boundary, which could have been able to benefit otherwise, which is why I'm bringing forth this measure today. We think that this measure will still allow for a focus on environmental friendly transportation projects next to high-quality transportation stops and focusing on, which is important to us, which is building infill development in the state of California. And I certainly, again, appreciate the committee's work with us on this and ask for your support. Thank you.
Move the bill.
It's motion by Hadley, second by Garcia. Witnesses in support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. My name is Yeli Govrich. I'm with the California Association of Realtors, and this is a really important bill. It's a small incremental step, but an important step in getting more housing. We're facing a housing crisis in California, and this will help. And respectfully request your aye vote. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, committee member Silvio Ferrari on behalf of the California Building Industry Association. Also like to thank the author for his leadership on this. Clearly, as Yeli just said, infill housing is very difficult. This really does take a positive but minor step forward to help get some of that infill housing out there that we need. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, Tim Schott on behalf of the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District. Although the board does not have an official position yet, we expect to take it up at the board meeting this month and expect the board will support. We're very interested in continuing transit-oriented development and believe the bill will help us take a small step in that direction. Thank you.
Witnesses in opposition.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. I'm Victoria Rome with the Natural Resources Defense Council. And with AB 1886, I would say we have a rare disagreement with Mr. McCarty, and we are in opposition. NRDC was one of the original sponsors of SB 375, the first law in the country to connect regional planning to climate and clean air goals. The law represents a lot of hard work and negotiation and compromise with a diverse set of stakeholders. We see AB 1886 as taking a step backwards from the carefully balanced compromises in SB 375. By changing the definition of transit priority project, the bill would allow streamlined CEQA review if only 50% of the parcels instead of 75% are within 1/2 mile of a major transit stop. We had wanted the distance to transit to be a 1/4 mile in SB 375 to increase the likelihood that residents of a project would use transit. In the end, we were comfortable with the 1/2 mile. Therefore, we see AB 1886 as allowing development even further from transit and still providing the benefit of CEQA streamlining. While AB 1886 seeks to keep the majority of residential units within walking distance from transit, we are concerned about the impacts on the commercial and retail portions of a project. A report from the Public Policy Institute of California recommends more attention to commercial development and jobs near transit in order to reduce vehicle miles traveled and promote transit ridership. If you think about it anecdotally in our own lives, if your job is near a transit stop but your home is not, you're more likely to drive a short distance to transit from your home and then ride the rest of the way to your job. But if your job is not near transit, you would likely drive the entire distance. So we greatly appreciate your engagement with us on this bill and the meetings we've had with Mr. McCarty and his staff. However, 2015 was still the hottest year on record, and we must oppose AB 1886 because it takes SB 375 and California's climate and transportation goals in the wrong direction. Thank you.
Kyle Jones with Sierra Club California, also in opposition. I think Victoria did a great job of summing up our points, and I'd just like to reiterate those. Thank you.
Other witnesses in opposition?
Mr. Chair and members, Jenna Price on behalf of the California League of Conservation Voters, just echoing what our colleagues said in opposition. Thank you.
To the committee. Comments, questions from the committee. Mr. Hadley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. McCarty, can you or anybody on your staff discuss what you learned about the limited development that has taken place within the framework of the existing legislation? Do we have? I support the direction of the bill. I am wondering if the specific existing provisions encourage or discourage residential versus commercial or other forms of development that advance our goals, or if it just is having a limited impact because of the narrow geographical constraint that you described.
I'll try to answer your question in two ways. Well, first, we called city planning departments, and so we didn't ask individual developers per se, but the planning departments we spoke to. Some were aware of this, and some weren't so much aware of. As was said earlier, it was a landmark measure in 2008 to focus on land use and transportation. This is one of the key elements in there, and for whatever reason, it just wasn't being utilized. But I will note that I had a subsequent meeting, and my district is not like everyone else's. Everyone has their own unique issues, but I talked to some of our top infill housing developers and our local regional transportation planning agency, and they mentioned that this was a factor in the narrow definition of it, that some projects were maybe just outside, but they truly were infill projects. They weren't, sprawl-inducing projects out in the greenfield somewhere. They were urban, kind of a high-density project that just weren't able to participate. So that was the goal of this measure.
Other comments, questions from the committee? There is a motion. Would you like to close?
Ask for your consideration. Thank you.
Well, I'll say that the author has been diligent about trying to work with stakeholders for the past 3-4 months, probably longer, and I appreciate that. And let's, the closer to transit makes a difference. But at the end of the day, I do think that 50% of a project within a half mile does make transit possible, not as likely as 75% and maybe not as likely as if it was in a quarter mile. But I do think that it still meets the intent of the legislation. It is obviously hard to approach anything that was a negotiated compromise between parties, but I do not think that this destroys the spirit of the legislation and should be supported. Chair's recommendation is aye. Would you like to call the roll?
The motion is due pass as amended. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Jones?
Aye.
Jones, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Gomez? Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Stone? Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye.
That's 7-0. Your bill is out. We're going to take a 5-minute break for negotiation. Hold on a moment.
Or we too seldom look at agencies to see how they're implementing our laws. And I'm hopeful that with the change in term limits to 12 years in the Assembly, oversight will become a more significant part of the Assembly activity. And part of oversight is obviously calling out the executive branch when they fall short and they don't implement state law in a matter that we consider appropriate. But we should be equally willing to recognize superlative performance by a state agency when it does exceptional work. And ARB's performance related to the Volkswagen diesel emissions fraud is exceptional work. It was not done by state agencies around the country or other authorities around the world. And I think that work merits recognition by this Assembly. So I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Witnesses in support?
Afternoon, Chair and members. Tom Addison with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District here in support. We're delighted to see this issue getting more attention. Mobile sources, of course, are the largest single source of our air quality problems in the state. It's critical that emission standards, tailpipe emission standards for new vehicles, are complied with by the manufacturers. And we like the attention being brought to this issue, trying to ensure that these vehicles in the real world are meeting those emission standards through potentially some sort of increased regime would certainly be something that we'd also support. So thanks to the author for bringing this forward.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? To the committee. As amended with the exception of the final resolved. Mr. Stone.
So what's the objection to the second resolved?
This is a resolution. This is not a policy bill. It's not intended to be a policy bill. This is an attempt to recognize superb work when it was done and to try to bring more of a culture of oversight to this body. I think we should be willing to recognize good work and to call out agencies for bad performance.
Okay, but that doesn't really answer the question. What's the problem with that second resolve? Because that's the point of your whole introduction to this bill, was the fact that a resources board has its penalty authority, and the impact of that penalty authority is to go after folks who are cheating on their emissions tests, which is what happened here. And if we're going to have a viable state agency and the legislature give them the authority that it has, and we're going to laud them for exercising that authority, it seems to me that that part of the resolution is exactly what this legislature should be saying with respect to ARB. So I'm really curious as to why you insist that it come out.
It's a question about what the state legislature, what the assembly should be saying versus what it should be doing.
Well, I think this is what the assembly should be saying.
And that's a policy debate. I'm not opposing the notion.
No, it's not a policy debate. This is the statement of the legislature supporting the Air Resources Board for their action and the reasons for their action. I mean, you brought the resolution to laud the Air Resources Board. I'm all for that, but I'm a little suspect now if the lauding comes with some sort of a caveat.
No, it's not a caveat at all. The resolution that is not included in the motion that was made by Mr. Harper is a resolution to call for enhancing this penalty authority. I'm neither taking a position in favor or opposing that enhancement. I am recognizing that the system worked, that the legal framework that this chamber, this legislature has enacted, and the work that the ARB has done successfully detected, pursued, and exposed fraud on the part of Volkswagen. The system worked. This is a resolution to recognize the great work of the ARB.
Well, but if it's going to be a resolution and a statement by the Assembly, I think it needs to be a complete statement and not partial. So I'm not thrilled that you're not going to allow this resolution to be complete, be that complete statement of what this legislature expects the ARB to be and to do.
I'll give a couple facts to back up Mr. Stone's point. I mean, the defeat devices were used as far back as the 2009 models, and obviously this was not discovered until 2015. That is a significant delay of justice. And court documents reveal that Volkswagen thought their chances of getting caught were slim, and that the law firm hired by Volkswagen indicated that previous fines for violating emissions limits did not outweigh the financial benefits of the defeat devices. Now, I guess those attorneys didn't take into account the damage that this would do to their brand, but I do think that there is enforcement authority, penalty authority is pretty important if we ever going to catch anybody else. That being said, I don't want to completely micromanage other people's bills. The resolution is still good without it. I just definitely feel like it should have been part of it. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Chair, I'll second the bill, and then I don't know, or the motion, I'm sorry. I'll second the motion. I don't know if this will add to the discussion or detract from the discussion, but my caucus staff is informing me that there is legislation being debated right now regarding the penalty authority and the appropriate size of the penalty. So that is being discussed in the legislature currently, so regardless of the resolution.
Your policy staff is correct, and I would just hope that at least some of you will vote for that if you really want people to be caught in the future. Any other comments, questions from the committee? Yes, Mr. Gomez.
No, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. There is a bill working on the increases in the penalties. Why? Because it's my bill. I know that it's going through the legislature. Right now it's.
You should have had it up the same day. This would really help your argument.
Exactly. It's currently only $500. We're not even at the same levels as the federal government. And California has always been a unique place when it comes to being able to enforce our own environmental laws. I guess praising somebody for doing their job is an interesting kind of resolution. So it's one thing to praise them, but it's also to we're meant to encourage entities to go a little bit further. I will only support the bill if it actually includes that statement. Yeah, you will have a chance to vote on the policy itself when it comes to the floor. Hopefully, it comes to the floor. So I'm not sure if I want to support this. I could make a substitute motion to include the amendment if the chair wishes, but I don't think we'll go in that direction. We could. But if the chair wishes, we can do that, and that way you won't feel bad about it.
You are within your rights, and according to Robert's Rules of Order, a substitute motion is voted on first. Is that a motion?
Yes, I would offer a substitute motion to include the amendment that is included in your line right here. Resolve that the legislature supports the State Air Resources Board enhancing its penalty authority for cheating emissions tests to deter future efforts to circumvent emission standards, and be it further.
Second that.
There is a motion and a second on a substitute motion. Is there any debate on the substitute motion? No debate on the substitute motion. Please call the roll on the substitute motion.
The motion is to support the substitute motion. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Jones?
No.
Jones, no. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Gomez?
Aye.
Gomez, aye. Hadley?
Not voting.
Hadley, not voting. Harper?
No.
Harper, no. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood?
Aye.
Wood, aye.
6-0 on the substitute motion, which then still means we need one more vote on the on moving the resolution to the floor, right? So we have amended it just with that.
So the motion before us now is the substitute motion.
It is taking the amended portion to the floor. I think that's the right way to do it, so that the author can actually vote for his own bill. Would anybody, for clarity's sake, like to make the motion so that we do this cleanly?
Well, we just voted on the second.
I think the process, point of procedure.
Sure.
So there was a motion.
You know more about this than
there
I
was
do.
Then a
Mr. Chair of Judiciary.
A substitute motion made and I believe passed. And so the motion now before the committee is the substitute motion.
That's right.
So
That's my understanding as well.
Yeah. So we now need to take a vote on the motion.
But we don't need a motion and second. Got it.
Correct.
Your understanding.
my understanding is that you said that substitute motion needs one more vote to pass because it's 6-0. Is that not what you stated?
No, 6-0 is enough to get out of
Okay. All right.
this committee. Yep. Yep. Okay, we will vote on the resolution as amended, and please call the roll.
Well, may I close?
Absolutely.
First of all, seldom in my year and a half in this legislature has a handshake evaporated so quickly. We pass resolutions in this chamber quite frequently to recognize important figures, important organizations, important events, important anniversaries. We rarely take the additional step of pointing out how those organizations or those individuals could have done better as part of those resolutions. And I would like to respond to one discussion topic here, which is, yes, this is a resolution praising the Air Resources Board for doing its job. However, there is a difference between doing your job and doing your job in an exceptional way. Volkswagen has been regulated by authorities around the country and around the world. And the California Air Resources Board was the first authority to identify, invest the effort, and expose this fraud, this malfeasance. And if that is equivalent to to the workaday work that we ask our state agencies and our public employees to do every day, I don't think we do. I think this is exceptional work. I think it deserves recognition. I think that if we're going to have the the courage as a body to call out and to exert oversight over state agencies, we should also have the open-mindedness and the generosity of spirit to call out and praise exceptional good work that the state agencies do without engaging in policy debates which are going on in parallel to make sure that these agencies can do their job better in the future. So I continue in my desire to praise the work of the Air Resources Board in this case. I hope that all of you will join me on it. I do think that we have taken a good faith effort to recognize exceptional work and tried to turn it into a policy debate for reasons that are not entirely clear to me. But I continue to support the resolution, and I encourage your aye vote.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Otherwise, the 6-0 vote would have voted out the resolution as amended. So you can take a motion on the resolution as amended.
There's a motion and a second as bill as amended. Maybe double moving it. We'll ask downstairs afterwards. Belt and suspenders. All right, please call the roll. Let's get this over with.
The motion is to be adopted as amended. Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Jones? Not voting. Jones not voting. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper? Not voting. Harper not voting. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Stone? Aye. Stone, aye. Wood? Aye. Wood, aye.
6-0, your bill is out. Let's call the roll on of absent members.
This would be item number 1, AB 1749. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Stone? No. Stone, no. Wood? Wood, aye. AB 1886. The motion is due pass as amended. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Stone? No. Stone, no. AB 2788, due pass as amended to appropriations. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. Stone? Aye. Stone, aye. Wood? Aye. Wood, aye.
You have everybody's vote on that. With that, we will adjourn this meeting of the Assembly Natural Resources Committee.